our next read aloud. Baxter is here joining us again. So as you're listening to this read aloud today, I want you to be thinking about retelling the story. Remember, retelling is when you tell the important parts of the story in order, including the including the beginning, middle, and end. Remember, it's really important to include those story elements or story structure when you are retelling a fiction story. So that means that you are going to identify the main characters, also include the setting of the story and that problem and solution as you are retelling it with the beginning, middle, and end. So today our read aloud is Sheila the Brave, and your job at the end of the story is to go ahead and retell it or write a summary of this story here. So Sheila Ray the Brave. Sheila Ray wasn't afraid of anything. She wasn't afraid of the dark. She wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. At dinner, Sheila Ray made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. At school, Sheila Ray giggled when the principal walked by. And when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Ray tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," Sheila Ray said, patting herself on the back. Sheila Ray stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear. When her sister Louise said that there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Ray attacked it. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. Yeah, Sheila Ray," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. One day, Sheila Ray decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid to. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "You're always such a scaredy cat," Sheila Ray called. "Am not," whispered Louise. Sheila Ray started off skipping. "I am brave," she sang. "I am fearless." She stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked and walked. She turned corners. She crossed streets. It suddenly occurred to Sheila Ray that nothing looked familiar. Sheila Ray heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Ray tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Ray sat down on the rock and cried. "Help," she sniffed. She thought of her mother and her father and Louise. "Mother, father, Louise," she cried. "Here I am," a voice said. "Louise?" Sheila Ray hugged her sister. "We're lost," Sheila Ray said. "No, we're not," said Louise. "I know the way home. Follow me." Louise stepped on every crack. She walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at stray dogs and bared her teeth at stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She jumped up and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Ray walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets. They turned corners. Soon their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Ray grabbed Louise and dashed up the street. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Ray said, "Louise, you are brave. You are fearless." "We both are," said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. Hopefully you enjoyed this story, Sheila Ray, the brave. Your job now is to go back and look in your packet. You have the paper that says retell the book. Tell at least 2 events and then draw a picture. There's not a whole lot of line space here to write, so if you need to, go ahead and grab an extra piece of paper so that you could finish retelling the beginning, middle, and end of the story, and then drawing a picture when you're all done. Remember, including when you are retelling, you need to include all of the story parts, so that means that you are including the main characters, the setting or where the story takes place, that problem and solution, and telling that beginning, middle, and end. What is the most important thing? You don't need to retell every single detail. You are just telling the most important events that happen in the beginning, middle, and end of the story. Remember, going back and listening to the story as many times as you want to is a strategy to be able to help you retell what happened. All right, we will talk to you soon.